If you go to the homepage of the Republican Party right now, if you type GOP.com into your web browser, the front page of the National Republican Party's website comes up, and today it looks like this. I stand with Cory. I stand with Cory? With Cory Booker? I don't think I need a spoiler alert here if I let you know that the Republican Party, in reality, is very unlikely to actually stand with Cory Booker. Mr. Booker is the Democratic progressive firebrand mayor of Newark, New Jersey, who supports President Obama's re-election emphatically. The Republican Party is making a big show of saying they are standing with him because they say that Cory Booker is a victim who needs people to stand up for him because he can't stand up for himself. And because it's the Republican Party, obviously, the person they say is victimizing Cory Booker is Mothra. I mean, Godzilla. I'm sorry, President Obama. Today, while President Obama was at the NATO summit in Chicago, the Republican Party chairman sent out this email to Republican Party supporters. It says, "Do you know what Obama does with people who stand up for job creators? He silences them. That's right. By Sunday evening, the Obama campaign had pressured Booker into taking back support of the free market. This is how far President Obama has sunk, running an all-out assault on job creators. And in his own Democratic Party, anyone who dares defend them must be silenced. Don't let the White House silence free enterprise. If you agree, then please sign our petition. I stand with Cory Booker." And if you do sign that petition, you will thereby give your email address to the Republican Party, which will then make infinite use of your email address from here to spamternity. What all of this is about is a comment made by Cory Booker excuse me, on Meet the Press yesterday, where he criticized negative campaigning on both sides of the presidential campaign this year. He said he found the negative campaigning nauseating. He said that even though the president's re-election campaign, which he supports, has criticized Mitt Romney's tenure at Bain Capital, he said he does not think that private equity per se is always bad. Now, that's the sort of thing that people in Washington call off message for someone who was functioning in that instance as an Obama campaign surrogate. It was off message. Off message like when Marco Rubio endorsed Mitt Romney for president and then promptly followed up that endorsement by saying, quote, "There are a lot of other people out there that some of us wish had run for president, but they didn't." Off message like when former Congressman Tom Davis endorsed Mr. Romney this way.
He may not be Mr. Personality. This is a guy who gives the fireside chat and the fire goes out.
Off message like when John Huntsman endorsed Mr. Romney's candidacy with this little love song to the Republican nominee.
Gone are the days when the Republican Party used to put forward big, bold, visionary stuff. We're going to have problems politically until we get some sort of third-party movement or some alternative voice out there that can put forward new ideas.
Oh, and by the way, please vote for Mitt Romney. Off message like when Nevada Congressman Joe Heck endorsed Mitt Romney by saying, quote, "Mitt Romney and I don't agree on every issue, and certainly housing is one of them." Off message like when Michigan Congressman Fred Upton said his candidate, Mitt Romney, was wrong on the auto bailout. Off message like when New Jersey Governor Chris Christie joined the Democrats in demanding that his candidate, Mitt Romney, release more years of his tax returns. Actually, it should be noted that the platonic form of off-message surrogate this year came in the form of Chris Christie as well. Do you remember this one from him?
In terms of me, I'll be much more ready 4 years from now than I am now.
Now, see, that's off-message. In stumping for the guy who's running for president right now, you're talking about how you're going to be ready to run yourself in 4 years? What, because your guy's going to lose this year, and so the Republicans will have another shot at it in 4 years? Or are you thinking that he will win, and then you'll run against him after his first term? That's off-message. Off-message happens. Off-message happens a lot. It has happened a whole heck of a lot with people acting as Mitt Romney surrogates this year, which Democrats and the Beltway media have tended to react to by softly chuckling about it if they notice it at all. But when off-message happens on the Democratic side, Even when Mayor Cory Booker clarifies his remarks and says he does not think that Mitt Romney's tenure at Bain should be off limits. Even when President Obama himself expresses the same basic idea that private equity per se is not bad. It's just that in Mitt Romney's case, it's not a great qualification for running for president. No matter. When off message happens on the Democratic side, there is no mitigating factor that can distract from the feeding frenzy. Democrats join right in with the attack. Liberals join right in with the attack. The Beltway media joins right in with the attack in a way that they can almost not control. The Republicans not only attack, but they caricature this Democrat, in this case, into a helpless victim who they supposedly want to rescue from being silenced, since he obviously isn't allowed to speak for himself. Let's let him speak for himself. Joining us now for his first interview since his Meet the Press appearance caused all this hullabaloo is Newark, New Jersey Mayor Cory Booker. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here. It's nice to have you here.
Rachel, thank you very much for having me on. And I appreciate this because actually you and I talked earlier. I told you I was doing no interviews. And it wasn't until the GOP went across that line that I said, forget it. I've had all I can stand and I can't stand no more. So thank you for giving me a chance to be on tonight.
What is the line that they crossed that made you feel that way? What is it about the way they have reacted to this that made you change your mind about talking about this issue again?
Well, anybody who watched the entire Meet the Press saw not only was I defending Obama's positions on numerous issues, but I also talked about super PAC money and the negative campaigning, and my outrage and really my frustration was about the cynical negative campaigning, the manipulating of the truth. And so here they are plucking sound bites out of that interview to manipulate them in a cynical manner, to use them for their own purposes. And that slogan is really what had me and basically my entire staff are really fit to be tied. And in the beginning, I think I used a metaphor. My staff seemed to have to hold me back because to say I stand with Cory Booker, I have not seen a Republican national candidate, with maybe the exception of Jack Kemp a long time ago, be willing to stand with me in places like Newark, New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, Patterson, places that they seem, often the GOP seems to want to imagine doesn't exist. And so what I really feel very strongly is anybody in the GOP who wants to stand with me, please stand with me. Stand with me for marriage equality, as Barack Obama stands up for. Stand with me for not turning the clock on women in terms of medical issues and other things like Barack Obama is standing against. Stand with me on making health care more accessible to all. Stand with me for making college more affordable, as President Obama is doing. If anybody listens to the entire Meet the Press and they want to stand with me, they'll see that I stand firmly with the president. And what really, really unfortunately has me frustrated is not only does the GOP tend to overlook urban areas like the one that I've been standing for and working in for my entire professional career, but the one time they do seem to pay attention to it, they just want to exploit and manipulate a mayor who for my entire career has been standing for something different. And I'll tell you this, I've been standing for Barack Obama before most people were standing with Barack Obama as one of his earliest supporters in New Jersey, if not his first major political endorsement. And this is a president that, in my opinion, rejects so many of the things, the tired rhetoric, the distractions, the kind of things that get America not focused on the problems that we need to solve. So today to the GOP, I say, I welcome you to stand with me. Stand with me for moving America forward. Don't stand with me for the kind of things that Mitt Romney is advocating that are going to further bankrupt our city, close off opportunity, discriminate against gays and women, and do the kind of things that I think are sending America in the wrong direction.
Cory, the Republican Party's hook for saying they stand with you is that you have been a victim of the Obama campaign, that you are not being allowed to say what you really say, that you only issued that clarifying response after Meet the Press because of pressure from the Obama campaign. What is your response to that, and are you being pressured by anybody to say something that you don't believe or to take back something that you do believe?
Well, for anybody that knows me and really knows my career, I've been an independent Democrat for a long time, standing up on issues, and actually have been comfortable to say I disagree with the president before on marriage equality. Now he stands for that issue. But the reality is that the Barack Obama team in the White House and their political team have been good to me for many, many years. I've worked with them early in the primaries in the last election. They have never pressured me to do anything. They've done nothing but encourage me. And in this case in particular, I certainly did talk with campaign officials, but they didn't force me to do anything. They had good conversations conversations with me, and after having conversations with them, especially after hearing the president's remarks on this issue, where he was not condemning all of private equity, he was not condemning any particular firms, he was focusing in on a guy who's bragging about his job creation record. To me, I think that's fair game. All of those things made me say, you know what, I need to go on and clarify, because obviously I did things in the Meet the Press interview, as I told you, that did not land the points that I was trying to make. And in some ways, frustratingly, I think I conflated the attacks that the Republicans were making with Jeremiah Wright with some of the attacks on the left. And those can't even be equated. The noxious nature of some of the attacks that we've seen be going on our president, where you even poll many people in the GOP who still believe he's a secret Muslim and these other things. It's gotten so ridiculous. You can't even equate the negativity on the right with what's happening by some sectors in the left. And so at this point, I'm grateful for the president who came out today and said very kind words to me. Many more cynical folks in this camp probably wanted the president to go on the attack on me. God bless him, because I think his team listened to the totality of what I was doing, heard me defend the president on Meet the Press on health care, heard me defend him on job creation, heard me defend him on doing tax reform that actually helped people in my community in Newark, New Jersey. And it's a partnership I'm going to continue to have no matter what role they want me to play. I play it proactively, not reactively to them.
Cory, when you say that when you heard the president's remarks today talking about the substantive matter of discussion on Meet the Press that started all of this, when you heard him talking about private equity, and you say now that you want it to be clear that talking about Mitt Romney's record as a self-proclaimed job creator is on the table, what exactly are you saying ought to be part of the political discussion and what ought to be off the table?
Well,
where is the line for you in terms of what you think is appropriate?
This is my independence. I'm not going to shy away from being one of those people that says I'm tired of presidential campaigns, the primary we just watched with the Republicans talking about all kind of issues that don't make sense for my community who's struggling with foreclosures, things that things that Romney's against helping, not in favor of giving tax breaks to middle-class families in my community. I'm not going to remain silent when people try to bring up issues and negativity that distract from the core issues that in my community right now, there's a high level of urgency that we're talking about and doing something about. And so I reject that negativity. I'm sorry. It's just I'm not going to come back from that point. But when it comes to what I think is appropriate questions, when Mitt Romney himself says I was a job creator, not a successful guy in private equity, that I wasn't, hey, I didn't return great investment for my people in my firm, but when he says I was a job creator, I think that's a characterization of his record that deserves inquiry. And I think the way the president himself is talking about that is something I will defend. In fact, something I will echo. But let's just be clear. In this election, and this is why I wish if Romney wanted to pull my remarks from Meet the Press, where I went right after super PACs and Citizen United and the incredible flood, tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars that are going to flow into this campaign, one of the most expensive campaigns we're going to see in terms of money spent. And the majority of that money will be negative, cynical, vicious attacks and distracting this country from dealing with the issues in substance that we want to do with it. I'm sorry, I'm going to reject that every day. But I'm happy and I'm proud to have been a friend of the president before he even started talking about running for president. I'm proud that we have a guy who's got the Obama cool, who's focusing on the issues that matter. I'm hoping that both sides, my side of the aisle, which can sometimes go too far, and their side of the aisle, which is bringing up stuff to me that is in many ways the dirtiest aspect of politics, I'm going to call that for what it is. But in terms of me, I'm a mayor of a city. I have to deal with urgencies every single day. People looking for jobs, people looking for access to education, people looking for hope. And right now, from the cynical right and from even this Congress on the right, I see very little coming out that's actually going to help people in urban issues. And this is why if Mitt Romney and his campaign want to say, I stand with Booker, come stand with me in Newark. Stand in Camden. Stand in Detroit. And talk about issues that really affect people, like the auto industry, substantive issues like Obama.